look like Volkswagen Beetles on crack. Thick waffle.
This was my best friend. Reykjavik. I don't even know. I'm not gonna try anymore. Doing something a little bit different here today. Time is 1 p.m. in Iceland, so I've got my Red Bull. I wanted to go into 5 tips that I've used to make more as a small business owner while traveling, as opposed to where this was my best friend for a solid 6 to 8 months. It's currently Wednesday, May the 10th. May the 10th be with you. We are sleep deprived. We are in Reykjavik. Ruk of, I don't even know. I'm not gonna try anymore. Iceland. It is currently 2 a.m. as you can tell by the sky. And by that, I mean it's 2 a.m. at home, and here it's like, what, 6:30, 7? Something like that. I'm on several hundred milligrams of caffeine, and Dylan, the cameraman, is about 5 minutes away from the camera having a little shake to it. The sheer weakness in our souls, like that, exactly. We're headed to the Blue Lagoon. First tip is consolidation. So there's 2 ways to consolidate. The first way to consolidate that's extremely easy is to work with friends on some sort of profit split or profit share agreement to get specific tasks done. For example, we are trying to outsource our appointment setting and our sales to an additional hire while I was gone in Spain and Portugal. In order to do that, I leveraged a friend on a profit split agreement, and what I did is I spent half a day before I left for the trip developing an onboarding package listing documents like 1, 2, 3, 4 for my friend to follow. And as I speak right now, we have who we think is going to be the best hire out of 12 candidates that my friend interviewed. And because I trust him, it makes it much easier for me to focus on sales while I travel and do the things that I can do remotely on my phone to maximize my time while I can explore the world. The second way, like I mentioned, that's hiring internally. Doesn't even have to be full-time, but on a contractor basis. Then you can outsource the work. Make sure to write relevant SOPs. I'm actually gonna drop a link to Scribe, which is a website that I use. I don't get any affiliate commissions off them. I'm just super passionate about them. It'll actually auto track your cursor and like show the different steps and list it out in document. And then you can send that off to a VA or send that off to a hire. I highly recommend. Te damos la bienvenida. Portugal. Google. I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. Oh, are we going down here? You ever seen those like Instagram scenes where it's like a wedding and they walk up and it's like, The second tip of 5 here, let me sip my Red Bull again. You want to segregate your sales. And what do I mean by segregating your sales? Let's say you're traveling for the next 2 weeks, which is my case at the beginning of this vlog. Let's say that you have 10 appointment calls, but let's say that 3 of your 10 appointment calls are for your high ticket offer. These are the ones where you really want to sit down, present your proposal package, and sometimes you're caught on like a train or a bus, or you're doing something where you intended to make a meeting at 3 p.m., but now all of a sudden it's 2:59 and you're halfway across the country, and so you can't make the high ticket sales call. So what you wanna do by segregation of sales is like those calls that are like your lower ticket offers or like casual conversations with prospects that could lead into upsells or cross sells, like those kinds of things you can book on your phone. And then if you book them through your phone, you can still send them the same sequences to get them on the call and to get them seasoned to your offer. But the only difference is that like you can take a phone call. Let's just say you have like a decent international travel plan on like any major US carrier. You can take those phone calls that are less, shall I say, strenuous.
That's the Sagrada Familia. We are on top of the Sagrada Familia. Completely on top of it, at the Tower of the Nativity. And that's Barcelona.
The third trip for traveling as a small business owner and making money is to think about the returns that you make on the trip as an ROI on the money that you spent on the trip. So let's say, for example, the last 2 weeks in Spain and Portugal, we spent 8 grand, right? If I land a deal for 6K and then I land a second deal for 2K, for example, then I've already paid off the trip, which means that any additional income I make is proper income. My goal is always like to have at least a 2x multiple. So if I'm in a position where like, okay, I know that the month ahead is gonna be a good month because I know that historically we have a 30% close rate on our booked appointments. If I know that we have 10 booked appointments, I know that I'm gonna close 3 based off of the metrics that I have built in my business. And let's say my average offer price is 5K, then I know that I'm gonna close 15K in those 2 weeks. Then you can say like, okay, it is a reasonable financial decision to take this trip because if I'm losing 8K and I know I'm gonna make 15, then I'm comfortable with experiencing the world and making +7 in that 2-week period.
You are in the 80s, man. I'm not in the 80s because I forgot my fanny pack. Like a fool, left that home. But we're walking from Sagrada Familia, headed to Gaudi's house museum. Super trippy museum, art museum. The goal is to make more money than you spent. And that's how you travel while working.
My fourth tip is to be mindful of your itinerary. I'm sure you can relate to checking your calendar the moment you wake up. On vacation, that's of course not a good health habit because you've kind of taken this vacation in the hopes of de-stressing perhaps or going to a new place and exploring. Obviously work never stops, the work continues. And where you put your energy is where money goes, right? So if you, like the first thing you do is you check your emails, you consolidate, blah, 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 and then you're rushing to all these things on vacation, you're gonna burn out faster, I find, from personal experience than like I said, if the routine is built at home. My suggestion would be, once again, to go back to tip number 1, which is outsource heavily, which means that you know that all of the critical stuff is being handled. You can hire VAs and admin for the 2 weeks. Like basically you want all your touch points to be on call, and then you can check your emails later. And the best time to do that is during like a free period in transportation. Like if you're taking like a taxi to an event or a shuttle or a bus or train while abroad, that's a perfect opportunity to just like hammer out all your emails because there's no marginal joy in like sitting on a bus. So use those little like interim periods of time. Give yourself that flexibility to like adopt a healthy share of travel and work.
In order to get to our destination, what we've decided on is once we see a restaurant called Dick Waffle, then we know to turn left. Makes it easy. So we're at the Rio Plaza rooftop, so to speak, Madrid. You can see the view is fucking incredible. It's over all of Madrid. They see you down here, you get a drink. You get a drink in this little foyer, this little lounge. And then you go upstairs to the roof where there's a DJ and it's a full panorama of the city outside. And you can eat. Once again, if you get that full access reservation in advance, which we booked this 2 months in advance, you can go up and eat. And it's worth it. The entry fee is like 27 bucks, 27 US dollars, 25 euros, which is nothing, right? For the whole experience that you get, it's worth it.
Tip number 5, which is probably least expected, is just to have fun. You booked this trip for a reason. Hopefully you're taking this trip in a financially responsible way. And with that in mind, going back to tip number 3, hopefully you're making returns on the trip. While you're there, embrace the moment, okay? There's something new to see every 5 minutes. So that ADHD part of your brain kind of like just targets what's happening abroad as opposed to like, oh, let me go on Instagram. Adopt that mindset and like really enjoy your time, because imagine like if you went home and you're like, I feel like I didn't gain any like personal benefit from traveling there. You don't want post-trip depression. You already have enough on your shoulders. So just like really have fun. Everything in measure, everything responsibly.
We're here in Portugal, finally, which is the third leg of our trip, third of 3. And we're about to take those of the guys. They look like Volkswagen Beetles on crack. It's a trike. It's like a motorized trike. They're going to take us through the city for 3 hours. And I'm going to learn something. And hopefully not crash. touched down in Porto, Portugal. You can just see like non-stop houses. It's literally out of the movies. Ridiculous.
The fuck is going at it?
Man, that one wants a fight.
That closes out this video. Drop a comment on what you liked, what you didn't like, things to improve upon, and how these tips helped you. Also comment down below if you've been to Barcelona, Madrid, or Porto, because I'd love to see, or Iceland, because I'd love to see, you know, if we've been to some similar spots, and I'd love to connect. And feel free to subscribe, hit the bell to receive all notifications on the channel. I post once a week, once every 2 weeks, value content, travel content, etc. I will see you on the other side of this Red Bull.